Today, I've got something incredible for you. Today, we speak with Marina Jakobsen. Marina is a beast. Listen to this. In her first year of business, with only 100k in the bank, she managed to close for 60 million in deals. What does she trade? Marina runs a bunkering trading company, a firm that buys and sells marine fuel. Alright, let's jump into the interview. Alright, Marina. So, please, as a first question, can you walk us through a very painful moment of you, one of your worst trade?
I have been working with a customer for some time, and at some point, because we were working basis cash in advance, they asked me a credit. And as it was very small outstanding, and it was, I think, year 2022, where everything was booming, so 50K, you don't see as a big 50K of dollars, you don't see as a big outstanding. So I said, okay, let's try for 15 days. 15 days, initially, then end up by 1.5 years of non-payment, nothing on the invoice. The good thing that customer was still giving me some business on cash in advance basis, so I could cover at least my interest. But at some point, you need to pay the bill. So I asked them, come on, guys, let's settle, because it has been you cannot hold it for so long time. And they promised me, okay, we are selling another vessel now, it will be demolished. So after it's done, you will get paid. I waited patiently 1 or 2 more months. They sold the vessel. They paid everyone else than me. Then I got, of course, 1.5 years already. Then so many promises to pay this, to pay that. I think they paid something like 5K or something.
I really like.
And I told them, look, guys, you really don't. I'm very patient. No other companies will wait such a long time. I think they will arrest vessel at the first occasion. So I was really keen and trying to. I think this is the last resort. Such a measure to seize the vessel. It's because many companies, what I know from the industry, they see, okay, who are the owners? Is the owners is good. You're keen to give the credit because you know that you can come after vessel. I think it's a wrong approach because you're ruining the relationship with a potential client, and this is not the way of doing. So for me, this is something like you really choose at last. You give all possible time. And so they didn't pay, and they say, okay, I'm going to arrest your vessel. I cannot wait anymore because, there are some accounting rules. You cannot keep it for so long open. So either you need to really say, okay, it was a loss. At some point, I did everything I could to recover it, but I don't want to have a 50K loss on my account. Then it showed be in a very good jurisdiction for arrest, and we did it very efficiently, very fast. I talked to all my connections in the particular port because it's very difficult to know when vessel will burst.
Yeah, right.
It's hanging, and you have very short time to act. Of course, I was also keeping with the owner. I said, look, I given you a really last chance. I don't want to do it, but you really push me to the very, very limit that I know that the vessel doing the last 2 voyages and it will be demolished as well. So if vessel demolished, I will not have. I don't have any chance to recover my money anymore. We arrested. It was really lucky for my side because I could cover not only the lawyer's fee, but I could also cover all my interest and the invoice. So literally, worst trade became not the best trade, but the good one at least, because I managed to cover my losses and even get at least some compensation.
But this is crazy because even though you had this is something that people need to understand. Is like, even though you have an outstanding amount on that customer, you kept working with him, and it's quite common actually. You don't really just kill the relationship because the guy is not paying you. You try to just nurture it so then you can get paid on the line.
I think advantage of being a smaller company, because I know that big guys, they don't talk that long, they don't wait that long. They have a very huge lawyer teams, and many times even not a trader could have an outstanding relationship. And I know from the industry that have experienced some situation where traders said, okay, we have situation under control, we just need to wait 1 more week, and it was true, but the legal team would step in without even telling the trader that they're stepping in, and ruining the relationship with the client. So for me, every client is very valuable, especially when we have a long-standing relationship. I wait until the very last moment when I can't wait anymore. But this is not something happened every day. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, we consider very carefully who we work with, but no one can be sure that it's not happened. Even with the big company, as we already have seen, OW, they went collapsed under 1 week.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
all the creditors and debitors were really affected.
yeah, of course. But okay, all right. So that's a good point to explain. So at Marine Brokers, you are a broker trader of bunker. Can you explain what is it and what your company does?
Actually, it's very easy. It's like if you want to go from A to B in your car, you need a fuel. The same every ship that go from A to B, they need a fuel. So basically, what we're doing, we're assisting our customers to get bunkers, bunker fuel or marine fuel oil worldwide for their vessels. It's like a provision to the vessel. It's not the cargo that gets transported. We just facilitate the voyage. We have a network of suppliers worldwide. Of course, we have some niche areas where we are having a stronger presence. And there's a difference between being broker and being trader. As a broker, you don't bear any
Risk.
risks on your side. You just connecting two counterparts and getting your commission from one part or other part. As a trader, you actually buying the product and reselling the product with a margin, and there you bear the all risk of credit risk, quality risk, whatever else risk. It's on you. So literally, we started more with the idea because taking in consideration smaller capital amount, we started more as a brokers, and our trade side was really maybe less than 50%, and then slowly we'll build up our capital, and we could move more to the trading because, of course, being a trade broker, it's difficult in terms of you showing your know-how, you showing your relationship like that very open. As a trader, it's still you keep it behind the locked door, more or
Yeah,
less.
I think brokers it's very difficult in today's world. I mean, everyone has WhatsApp, everyone speaks to each other. It's very
Exactly.
difficult to fight for your commission. So the business model of a broker in physical commodity trading, I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be more and more difficult in any commodity. I see the same everywhere.
Exactly.
All the brokers disappear because you have no leverage. I mean, so that's it's very difficult.
It's difficult to maintain this setup for longer time because there will be another trader or another broker, and as a trader, you at some point learn that even something that you think is very exclusive and yours, it's only until the moment that someone else come in,
Yeah.
and it can be very uninspected. So that's why it's always good to keep rolling, to get more contacts, to
But one
expand
thing
your
about,
network.
about the about the bunker, the market, I guess it's very localized per port. I guess so. It's like there's 20, 25 different market for each port, or are they connected or not really? How does it work?
Um, of course, everything connected to the oil fluctuation prices, but still not. Each part it's a special environment and infrastructure, and there is some particularity, and especially in our world now with all these compliance risks, etc., etc. So it's changed a lot since I started trade for 10 years. It was much easier. Now you have so many factors you need to consider and be careful about. So as a smaller company, of course, we start focusing on the market we know. And for example, 2 years ago, I would not think that we will have a credit lines in China, in Singapore, and in Asia. So we're expanding, and we started with Europe because it makes sense. We sit in Europe; it's our time zone. Europe, Mediterranean, Baltics. Then we slowly start to expand to UAE market and Middle East, and to Asia, to Singapore. And this is very natural process that I think any trading firm follows. So
Because
first
your
you
company is 6 years old, right? 5 years old, 6 years old.
I started on my own in the end of 2021.
All right, all right.
So,
So this is
so
my point.
it's
It's quite a new.
literally it's quite a new. we're talking about three years of like
3 years.
really going on your own.
And can you give us just some numbers about your company, just to so we can understand what is the scale, the size, and what you've achieved?
So when I started, I was myself and I. There was no one else. Of course, there was some back office accounting, etc. But even that, I was doing myself. So let's say end of 2021, I started myself with a very modest capital of 100, 200K. In 2022, we already were at three and getting the revenue about 60 million.
This is crazy. This is this is crazy. So props to you. So yeah,
For us, it was crazy as well because it's not something that you expect by going into a little brokerage firm. You know, you're calculating, okay, how much I can earn max. Okay, if I can earn like 3 times my salary, that will be amazing. And then something that just keep coming and coming. And actually, you know, then you start to think, oh, if I was smarter, I will maybe amend my setup, but at some point you need to act, or you don't have time to think. If you could have enough time to do everything perfect, and I think that is a big problem of perfectionists, that they try to prepare everything for a very, very long time, and then in the end of the day, when they're ready, there is no business.
something. Yeah.
So I'm that kind of person, and what I learned from trading, to make the decision fast. Sometimes maybe it will be not the best decision, but in that moment it will be the best decision for you to do, because otherwise you probably would not even get the business. In 2022, we got a profit of about $1 million. With all the expenses, of course,
Yeah,
etc.,
yeah.
etc. And it
But
was
what better than your last salary, I guess.
yeah, and then you think like, okay, this is a very good return on investment. But you know, this is, I think it was a kind of break-even point, because of course market was very interesting at that moment due to all the geopolitical situation, and all those distortions create opportunities, as everyone learned. So no one can tell from the trading world that 2022 was a bad year. It was one of the best year, I think, for everyone, because disruption create opportunity, create bigger margins. So that was a part of the success. But you know, when it started, first everyone like, you are really not in a good position, like no one expect that. So everyone thought like, okay, starting at that moment as a little firm, it will be a
Okay, I see
huge
what you mean.
disadvantage, because I started in 2021,
Yeah.
long before all, like not long, but just before everything break with the Russian war, Russian
Yeah.
Ukraine war, etc. And everyone thought like, okay, I got many feedbacks like, now you regret, yeah, you cannot continue, like it will be very difficult for you, etc., etc. It was difficult indeed, but then you get such experience, and you think, if you could come through this also with everything that start to happen with the banks, before you open the bank, you even can get credit very easily.
Yeah,
But
back to
now
back MC
everything,
and so on. Yeah.
no one gives you credit. Everyone actually reduced the credit. If before the 30 days from the supplier was very common credit terms, now we're talking about 5, 14, 21 days credit. So as a smaller company, to bear those credit splits, it's also a challenge. Thinking that if we could manage under such a condition, so I think we're doing something right, and it's make you stronger.
But so you told me before we start the recording that now your company has 7 people, and in
Totally, yes. Like
total.
seven people. We are four traders that trade in from different time zones. I'm still very active on my side, but also it's very difficult to keep up with trading myself, because I need to be in top of everything.
Yeah, it's
And I
very
think
difficult.
now we're like, if when we spoke with you 2 years ago, it was mainly me who doing everything. Now the challenge is like, we are middle company, growing company. Uh, Being alone and trade, it's fun. You get much more money in your pocket,
Yeah.
but you don't have life at all. Okay, forget, when you have your own business, you never have you don't have your private life anymore. It's all consumed by the company mainly, because it's like your baby. But where we're going now, our costs increasing, the number of people increasing. So we have another challenge now, how to organize everything, how to get maximum out of what we
Yeah,
have, because
it's very difficult. It's very
this is
difficult because when you are small, you take all the decision. I mean, all the profit
exactly.
is for your pocket and so on. But now you're a team. You need to the profit is decreasing. So it's okay. But
But
should I
if
hire
in
more
bef-
people? It's tough. It's tough.
and it's tough to negotiate with yourself and think like, look, I could guess less pain, less troubles, still earn good money, but I would not grow.
Mm.
So my choice to start to think about your company, not like about your own money in the pocket. You start to think of it as an investment, actually. And then if before I could get 70% out of my profits, now I could probably get only 20, 30% of my profits, but my profits start to slightly increase as well. So 30% of that cake would be much bigger than 30% of the first cake. And then you cannot compare 2022 and today. So it's very difficult to negotiate with yourself. Like, am I doing
The right thing. Yes, yes.
the right thing? Because sometimes, probably, yourself, you ask yourself, like, all this time and troubles, does it worth it? But then you understand that once you go solo and you start to build something on your own, this is like contaminating you. You cannot stop. You look for another challenge. Actually, when it starts to be too quiet, you think like, oh, what can I do next? Should we open another office? Should we conquer another market?
Yes, but it's true because even me, I'm like, all right, so we did like some good trades. We have money in the bank. I'm like, what should we do to grow now? How can I use this money to grow? And sometimes this is not the right thing to think. I should have said, oh, this money is there in case of bad moment or something like
Then I
that.
can buy a
No, no,
villa
no.
or something.
Yes, yeah. So let's do something more dangerous. But I see. So and now, how do you think about like hiring people? Because I guess in your world, it's very easy for like a trader to move from one company to another and then
It's
take
quite
the
easy.
portfolio of
There are
clients.
still some restrictions, but to work for the smaller trading firm, you should also have a different mindset. That what I experience, many people would like safety. I don't say that small company is not safe, but small company is more challenging. You're earning better money, but you work. You don't have everything ready in front of you. The credit department, the legal department. It's not as how to say, developed in the way of before. Like, when you work for the bigger firm, you actually do not do anything yourself besides selling. Here you need to participate more, but it's also interesting because you learn more. You're in touch with many sides of the business. I think hiring people in one way, why it could be challenging for the smaller company, you don't have resources enough to search for those people. That the time goes very fast, and you need time to find the good people. And to hire someone, it's also a risk, because you evaluating, okay, you evaluating what they can potentially brings you. So it's an investment, but sometimes it could be a blind
A disaster.
investment, a disaster.
Yeah.
So of course, since we started, there's also some people was joining and then leaving, but it's all just adding up on your experience. And then you see the finally different when another person come and they're so proactive, and you don't need to explain them anything. They're just chasing you for the confirmation. Can I do this? Can I do that? And then I think, wow, because when you just hire your first stuff, you think like, this is good until you get something better. So I guess it's just
Yes.
time and experience. But generally, I think myself, I prefer working with the middle companies, because you have less competitors inside the company.
Inside the company. Okay.
All the market is yours. All clients are yours. Of course, you have a different challenge that you cannot. The volume challenge, the challenge of the trade finance on the side of the bigger firm, who can really make huge volumes for $1, when we will hesitate and think, from this million we can do much better business than $1, for example.
Yeah, I see. So, but then how do you think? Because the reality is like a lot of time when a trader move from a big company to a small company, then there's going to be a lot of issues, because the guy that coming from a big company is like, he used to come like, okay, I can give you 60 days credit. Okay, I can do that. I can do this, maybe based on supply and so on. But then when you move to a smaller firm, there is like less deal that you can do in terms of purely financing, or the deal that you used to do, you cannot
It's
do
not
that.
only, it's not about that. You just have to be more creative.
Yeah. So this is my point. So what about this is like I look often this is the same complaint. But what I usually say is that look, man, it's up to you, man, because you can probably do way more stuff now than you could
Exactly.
down the line. But if you cannot make it happen with what you have, the problem is not the market. The problem is human, and this is something that they have trouble to hear. But usually, I've seen that is like they are in their one specific mode, and they're like, look, if we don't have an equity of this, then I can focus. Oh yeah, no problem. I
Yeah,
prefer
but then
to
it challenge you to see the things from a different perspective, and actually you start to see much more opportunities. It's the same for me. When I started, I thought like, this trade I cannot take because this is too many risks. Then you like take it, and then actually it's possible. Then I can do this. I can optimize. So you're always more creative, and with the time you get more experience. So I think working that way you have to be a particular individual, and I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, we cannot say that there like 50% of people like that. No, and it's not nothing wrong about it, just different. You need to have different mentality, and more like a fighter mentality, and the one who not just satisfied what is in front. You try to always challenge and find something bigger.
And what is for your business to grow? What is the most challenging for you? Is it finance? Is it people? Is it I don't know, clients? So what is the biggest challenge would you have for a company your size?
I think it's a little bit of everything, because you are growing, you have more deals. Let's say we had one person in accounting, now we need three people who handling, because there are so many tasks. Each trader brings something else, so you need to more time to manage people, which is my responsibility. But I don't know, lately I feel like I'm working in a bank, because the most challenge where it's coming in, even for the simple transaction, sometimes it's a huge deal, just do the very simple trade. With the time it's getting easier also, because you get more as a new company. I think it's mainly that challenge, because even after 3 years it's already going much smoother, because when you just start, you are new to everyone, to your customers, not to your customer, to new potential customers, to the banks, to the suppliers. They like, yeah, they know you, but they don't know the setup. So I think this is the time. It's also a very, very big challenge. So I cannot say that there is a particular challenge. I think actually it's a time, because if sometimes I think, can I get a twin like identical? Because I think if I had someone like me, I could manage it better. But I'm sure that this twin will create another challenges, so it will be also very busy, and it will never work that way.
Yeah, this is no, but this is tough, and especially one thing which is very difficult in the size that you are is to structure the company the right way, so it's not more work for you as the owner, because sometimes the more people you add, the more work you have, because you need to manage them, you need to
Exactly.
make sure that. So then, if it's like this, something is broken, because there is like a cap of how many times you have time, how many hours you have in a day. So it needs to be structured in a way that it free your time. Okay, maybe if you need to teach to motor your employee and so on, that's time you can compress, but they still need to have a same structure, so that you can add people without taking too much of your time, that the company just explodes. So this way it's a very, very challenging side, but it's also the most interesting, because then if you can make it happen, then you have a real asset that could work with less of you, and then that could be a very valuable company down the line. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Exactly.
And all right, so now, and you said that so you have an office. You are in Europe, in UAE, and in Singapore and China. So this is the main places
Singapore
where
and
you're.
China, we don't have any
No.
present, but we have a presence in Middle East, in Denmark, Estonia, and Switzerland.
All right. So and then so how so each trader manage I guess a book of clients for each of those region, right?
Yes.
So can you walk me through a day of a bunker trader? When they get up, what do they do until when they go to sleep? How does it look like?
I think it's very depend of the day, because sometimes you can already have an inquiry from 6 o'clock in the morning from the clients in a bit different time zone. And literally, when you have inquiries, you just do inquiries. You don't have time to do anything else. So literally, whole your day can be on the phone. That You don't have time to go to eat. You don't. It's everything with your phone. Literally, you do everything with your phone. Phone is like a part of you, like a part of your hand, part of your head, part of everything. Then for the less busy days, I guess, then you need to look for new clients. You need to
Yeah.
see what happening around. Any events you can attend that make sense to expand your network, which is also very important to do. I said nothing lasts forever, and our business is so dependent on relationship that even one person just changing the company can ruin your half of your portfolio if there was 50% of your profits coming from that client. So it's also learning to not put all eggs in one
Just a
basket.
basket.
So you try to always to get new leads, new clients, be visible, because you never know where the potential business will come from.
And how do you do that? How do you get new clients? What is the main way for you?
For me, I think main way is to meet people,
So
because
conferences, events. So
of course, you can prepare with cold calling, but we are in such a busy world. When you call people, yeah, you can mark some points, but I think the easiest way to catch up is to do it in the face-to-face contact, like in the conferences, in the meetings. So I think for me it's to travel and to meet people, because first year I think I was at home like maybe 2 months in total, 3 months maximum, like in my home. The rest it was traveling. Of course, with the time you decrease this, but I think, and that's was my challenge working for the bigger company. They want to see you in the office. They want to see you behind your screen, and doesn't matter. Even you can show that you bring actually much more money to them when you travel. To measure a trader performance, it's so easy. You just
yeah,
look at
exactly.
the
You see the
numbers.
PNL. Yeah,
You
exactly.
look at the P&L and you look at the numbers, you're happy or you're not happy. So even I try to prove that, look, when I'm traveling, I always cover in my travel expenses as 5 times. I always bring in more business by like all the traveling such a contribution on my P&L. And no, the problem with the bigger company, they want to see you behind the screen, and that's we have a different spirit in our company. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
bring money, do whatever you want. I'm joking, not not
But
this way,
yeah,
but
but I.
to be more flexible, and that I think traveling and meeting people is the key for
No, but
expanding
I
your
think no,
network.
but this is also something that I've seen because I have this academy for young people, and then there's one thing that the new generation doesn't understand: is the power of being face to face. This is you can do everything online. It's good to catch up and so on. You can communicate a lot, but the quality of this communication is extremely low, and it's going to be very difficult to create trust without seeing someone face to face. Because at the end of the day, this is a business based on relationship. Because you need to trust that the deal is going to go well with that guy. And then if you don't speak with
If
them,
you
if you
don't
don't
have
see
this
that,
gut feeling, yeah.
yeah, it doesn't work. But yeah, so this brings me to one. So Marina, you are a woman, and why? And I'm pretty sure the burger industry is like any other industry. There's a small amount of women. And do you think it's for you it's an advantage or it's actually a default to be a woman in this industry?
I think it's both. I tried. I have been a woman in the industry for like a bit slightly over 10 years, and to be honest, I think the industry changed as well. It's embraced more women. It's easier also to get the positions. We still have some challenges, etc. But personally, I don't think this is the success. It's equal to gender. This is not true, because if you're hardworking, if you're a fighter, doesn't matter you're a man or the woman. Doesn't matter because when you come to the particular industry, there is a rules of the game, and you play by the rules. You cannot ask, because I'm woman, give me a little bit of that, give me a little bit of that. So you need to accept fighting on the equal conditions. So for me, equality, it's not equal rules. They're the same for everyone. You cannot just adapt rule because you're a woman, or adapt rule because you are the man, or nationality, or etc. So of course everyone should be given the same set of rules, but then it's up to yourself, how do you fight. So I
But
think being the woman,
but I
sometimes
like
it can be challenging, because it's closing you the doors. Like someone, they just want to speak with a woman in a trading world because they don't feel comfortable, some other things. I don't know. This is something that happened to me as well. Or even in the conference. I remember, honestly, this didn't happen for me for a long time now. But sometimes, especially in the I would say Europe it's better, Scandinavia it's better, but let's say
Yes,
the other
Scandinavia for sure.
part of the world, you could participate in the conference and you network. Sometimes just you jump into the conversation with people. To jump in such a conversation with the people in some particular regions, they will just not even accept you in their conversation. You very friendly, say, "Oh, hi guys, yeah, I heard this topic," and they just ignore you, like you not exist. You stay there, you try, and then you say, "Okay, I'm moving." But
But yeah,
on
but this
the
is I like your answer because my first boss, okay, she was the owner of a small commodity trading business 18 years ago, and she was a fantastic woman, and she could trade, and she had a lot, and so and I mean, so I've never had like an issue with, because my boss was always my first mentor and boss was a woman, so I've never seen it as an issue. But the older I got, then I said like, but it's very masculinistic. You cannot. But I'm not sure it's true because I had the proof that it was not. So this is why I wanted to ask you this question.
For me, I think like it's the gender doesn't matter. Like if you want to be on the top, if you want to run faster, you just do it. Doesn't matter you're a man or a woman or where you come from. Of course, there's always obstacle, but in my opinion, those like at least with my personality, those obstacles they make me stronger. Because when I see an obstacle, I say, no, this is not an obstacle. I will just go through. If there is no door, I will find the window. For me, it's exciting, but I don't. That's why I think the entrepreneurship generally, it's not because it's not depend on the gender. The success rate, it's not depend on the gender. It depends of the personality. So there's many men who will rather work with a salary in a very safe environment, get your pension, the contribution, get your stuff. And there are some men who would just risk, put the last money on something they believe. And the same with the women.
But I think that's
So we
true.
can even if we'll force more women into the industry, not sure that they will like it. I had experience with my employer. There's some women would really embrace it and love it, and some women would feel uncomfortable because you need to be pushed. You need to be in a very roof environment, and no one just waiting for you there. You need to be very proactive. But it's the same with the men. So I just think it's not about gender. It's more about the personality. Of course, some doors are easier to open. Let's say you call into an old captain, he has a crew of, I don't know, 21 mates, and then you call in and just a change, speaking to someone else, not a man, would be different for him. But in the other way, sometimes it will block you from entering somewhere. So I think it's a balance. One way it's a disadvantage, another way it's an advantage. I don't think personally I felt that much resistance, but also I started my trading career in Scandinavia, where the
Right,
right very equal. I don't think if it was in China or someone else, I think it will be much more difficult. So
But
it's
China,
also
you know what? China is the country with the most billionaire woman that was not from their husband wealth. So
the
China is,
self-made.
but
So
yeah, exactly. So I don't know, but and
that's why
about
I
that,
don't. Yeah.
yeah, about that, there's something that you said that you go to conferences and then you try to jump into conversation. So this is something that I wanted to ask you because I saw you doing that because I met you also in a conference, and you were one of the best at going and speaking with everyone at the conference. So is it something that you had to learn? Is it something that you had to force on yourself? Because it's never easy to speak with someone that you don't know. There's always like this barrier. So okay, first question, how are you that comfortable to go around? And is it something that you had to train or it was natural for you?
I think again, this is both. Like you have to enjoy networking. There are some introvert people, and how they can force themselves as much as they can, they would not be able to enjoy. So of course you need to enjoy, but you also need to force yourself because we are human. Today I want to speak with everyone. Tomorrow I feel different, and I need to force myself into like start the conversation, but then it go smoother. Obviously, you're learning a lot through the years, and also something like you need to force more in the beginning because you don't know anyone. You just jump into someone's conversation without knowing who they are, without knowing maybe that good what you're talking about. So you need to pretend that you know a lot, but then you learn and learn next time. Like, I know you, and you can introduce me to someone else. So it's harder from in the beginning. But I would say the first 2 years of anyone's career, especially in trading, this is an investment. You cannot expect first 2 years anything back. Better that way. Probably, of course, you will get something in return, but first 2 years, it's an investment in you, in your knowledge, in your network, in your customer portfolio. And then I would say after 2 years, you will start to see the return on investment. So you need to really be very active and push yourself for the first 2 years. I would not say that after 2 years everything is just smooth and easy, but on the part of networking, you learn you learn so many people, so many people, so they start to introduce. So I would say first 2 years you chase the business. After the 2 years, sometimes business start to come to you even without chasing.
Exactly. So this is, it's funny because this is what I said to everyone is, look, it's 3 years of eating shit for 3 years, and then you will maybe have a breakthrough and it's going to get easier. But you need to do the work for a long time before it gets easier.
Exactly. And
But,
also when networking, you need to, you need to be not only come and talk about yourself and I do this, I do that. You need to ask questions. You need to listen what they are doing and remember in that, because the first challenge when you talk with 100 people, will you remember who you spoke to, what they're doing? So also make maybe some notes and put, I saw some people doing some notes on the cards, etc., etc. But now we have LinkedIn, so it's also easy to at least put them, connect. I would say, if you have a meeting, but you don't have a place where to meet, you didn't agree time, you didn't agree day, you don't have a meeting. This is nothing. So you can talk 1 hour about everything, and then, so remember to mark some points and to agree something when you agree to take more things into
a follow-up and so on.
a follow-up, etc., etc.
No, so all right. So, and Marina, so one last question for me would be like, if someone would want to start in this industry, like say 25 years old and so on, what would be your advice?
I think my advice would be to get a traineeship or internship in some bigger company, because I don't think I would be able to do what I do without having a bigger picture. Let's say if you would really love to learn to build something on your own, first get experience how someone else built it, get all the knowledge and work hard. This is I think the most challenging, but at least I see. The time changed. We are so secure in our society, with all the, at least in Europe, we're quite secure. Even we lose the job, we have the help. So I think it's difficult to hunt when you're not hungry. So it's always much easier to hunt when you're hungry. So keep yourself hungry. And sometimes when you start to do something new, it's not interesting. Like, people have difficulty to find in a hobby. It's the same. Work should be your hobby. You should find it interesting to do, but it would not come just from 1 week or 2 weeks or a couple of months. Sometimes you really need to become good in something in order to enjoy it. So just
That's true. It takes time to build the skills. And this is also what the young people doesn't understand. It's like the people that are already there, even though you have a lot to say about what they are doing, there's been maybe 10 years that they've been doing that. So they probably know a lot more than you. So you need to put those years behind yourself if you also want to increase.
Be proactive, chase for connection. Don't concentrate on comfort and money, because this is, you will do the right thing. That will follow. Because if you just concentrate and focus on I want comfort and I want money, this will never work. Concentrate on the bigger picture.
Yeah, that's completely true. And but one funny thing about that, like we had a young employee, so that for internship, and then he was supposed to finish a task, and I said like, and he didn't. So in the morning, I asked, why is it not finished? And he said, yeah, because I did not have time. I mean, how come? He's like, yeah, at five he left. I was like, all right, man. So he's not going to work here.
No. This is trading. Trading, it's not 9 to 5 job. Doesn't matter who you are, woman or man. This is a choice. This is a choice, and I think this is a lifestyle. If you want to have a job from 9 to 5, forget about shipping and trading. This is not the place.
Exactly. So Marina, last thing, where do you want people to connect with you, or if they are interested in what you are doing, or if they want to know more, where they should go?
I mean, they can contact me on LinkedIn. I'm quite open for the discussion about anything. Of course, of my time availability, but we can connect via LinkedIn, or I'm often traveling to the conferences. So yeah, commodity Tuesdays.
All right. So thanks a lot again for your time, Marina, and I wish you well. Ciao.
Thank you, Damien. Thank you.